Hi my loves, and welcome to your cosmic weather report for the week ahead. Now, we don't have a lot of planetary energy this week, so I want to start this report by giving you a permission slip from me and the skies to really use this week for deep rest, slowing down, self-care, integration, going inwards, gathering yourself back, and really giving yourself what you need. Not only is that what we kind of should be doing at this time of year, if we look at nature all around us, everything in nature right now is returning back to the earth, dying away, releasing, shedding. There's not much growth happening at the moment, except for beneath the surface. Everything is going inwards. So all of the growth is in the preparation beneath the surface to begin to grow again next year. And this is going to make a lot more sense when I talk to you about Mars in Leo in a moment. But if you can do that work now too, and really allow yourself this time to go inwards and gather and rest, you're going to be so much more prepared for what's to come and to be able to really step into the fullness of that when it arrives. So just like the skies this week are taking a little bit of rest, a little bit of downtime, there's going to be a little bit of kind of ease and peace and stillness this week. I want you to do the same. So this is a permission slip from me to really, if you can't press pause, at least go down a couple of gears this week, at least plan in some time where you can just be, just rest, go slow, maybe give yourself extra time to get places so you're not needing to rush and stress out your nervous system, and instead you get to just be still and gentle and quiet and slow. So we begin the week on Monday as Mars moves into Leo. Now, this is a really important aspect, and it's almost like this aspect is beautifully kind of mirroring nature and everything that's going on at the moment, because Mars is going to have a really long stay in Leo, because Mars is going to station retrograde in Leo. So Mars will move into Leo on Monday. Mars will stay there for a month until the 6th of December, when Mars is going to station retrograde at 6 degrees of Leo. Mars will then move back into Cancer on the 6th of January, station direct in February, I think it's the 17th of February, move back into Leo on the 18th of April, return back to that 6-degree point that Mars station retrograde at on the 2nd of May, and then stay in Leo until mid-June 25. So we've got this Mars and Leo energy until the middle of June next year. So what this is really, really helping us with is beginning to take charge of your life and your future. So what I want you to really pay attention to this week, as you're pressing pause, as you're getting still, as you're going inwards, I want you to really begin to look at what you want to create in your life by mid-June next year, and what you need to be doing now that's going to help you to do that. But with Mars stationing retrograde in Leo, remember, when a planet stations retrograde, it asks us to really do the inner work and take the work of that planet inwards. And so what we're going to be asked to do is to look at what it is that you want to create in your life, and then what is it you need within yourself to be able to hold that when it arrives. So remember, we're never going to really be able to manifest, create, or hold anything in our lives unless we truly believe ourselves to be worthy of it and deserving of it, and be in our full power and presence, and really be able to own what it is that we have. And so Mars in Leo is about bold action, big goals, being brave, being courageous, really going after what it is that you want, knowing this is my life and I'm going to take back the control of it, and I'm going to really create what it is that I want. But then Mars and Leo is going to ask you to go in and create within you the inner foundations to know that you deserve what it is that you want, to know that you can have what you want, to develop an inner strength, an inner bravery, an inner courage, an inner sense of self-belief and self-trust that's unshakable. So it becomes the foundation upon which what you want can be built upon. So this is almost like, just like nature's doing now, it's going inwards and it's creating the deep roots for what you want. So the deeper the roots, the higher the rise. So the more now you can put deep roots in yourself of what it is you want, who it is that you want to be, and really find in you that depth, that unshakable belief that you can have it by mid next year. Because remember, sometimes again, we set ourselves goals and we can make them seem too big or too far away, and then we don't feel like we can do them. But I'm sure that any of you out there can set yourself a goal now that you can say, do you know what, by mid next year, I could have done what it is that I need to do. It might be that you're not happy in your job, that you're not happy in where you're living, that you're not happy with certain situations in your life that maybe can't be changed overnight, but by mid next year, they really can be changed. And one thing that this transit is going to really show us, Mars in Leo really shows you where you're not being respected and appreciated. So over the next month, as Mars is moving direct through Leo, there might be a sense of those areas in your life where you're not being respected, where you do feel like your worth isn't being really seen, that you're not being seen, that you're not being understood, that certain people are treating you in a way that just isn't okay for you anymore. And so these are the life areas that you want to look at of how can I make change in this area of my life by mid next year. And that might mean I can't do it now because I'm a bit scared to stand up to them or to quit my job or to do the thing I know I need to do. But if I go in and I work on an inner courage and inner confidence, finding my voice, finding a belief in myself, I begin to take small steps towards what it is that I want. By mid next year, of course, you can have it. So this is now about taking charge of your life, looking at your future, looking at where you want to be by mid next year and who you want to be, and make it big and make it bold and make it a tiny bit scary and a tiny bit out there. I want you to really think about, how do you want to shine next year? By mid next year, as we come to that summer solstice energy, how do you want to be in your fullness and shining your light into the world? And what little steps and inner foundations are you going to begin to set now? And over these next few months, as we journey with Mars in Leo, moving retrograde back into Cancer for a moment, moving direct, how are we going to go on that same journey of going inwards and really creating those deep roots and those inner foundations of self-belief and inner confidence and knowing who you are and really stepping into the fullness of that? Now, on the same day, we've got another really beautiful aspect. We've got the Sun trine Saturn. So as the Sun trines Saturn, this helps you to set goals. It's an energy of goal setting, of really looking at what you want for yourself and looking at the future and what you want. And Saturn brings that inner structure and discipline, like a self-discipline, to really find those foundations within yourself, those roots in yourself that are going to help you to then get what you want. And then the skies take a break for the rest of the week, and we're going to do the same until Saturday. Now on Saturday, we get the first quarter moon in Aquarius, and we also get Venus square Neptune. Now, this is going to be a really, really beautiful and interesting day, because as Venus meets Neptune, what you might start to feel then towards the weekend is insecurities coming up, a lack of confidence, beginning to question yourself, beginning to pick yourself apart a little bit, beginning to look at all the reasons why you maybe couldn't have what you wanted. And so this is a beautiful guide for us. We've set those intentions on Monday of what we want in the future. We've started to maybe take little steps towards them. We've started to look at what we might do to make that happen next year. And then we're going to be faced with the doubts. Then we're going to be faced with the shadows. Then we're going to be faced with all of those things that can get in the way, the obstacles, so that we're aware of them. And as you become aware of those ways in which you lack confidence, you lack belief in yourself, you maybe don't trust yourself, you don't trust the universe, whatever it might be that's coming up for you, this is what we want to work on, that deep inner work with Mars retrograde. So this is then the work. So it's almost like as Mars moves forwards in Leo, we start to take those little tentative steps towards what we want. Then as Mars retrogrades back over the same ground, we then pull that energy in and say, where were the sticking points? Where am I going to stumble? Where am I going to get in my own way? And what deep inner work do I now need to do to make sure that I'm ready and I'm prepared? And particularly as Mars goes direct next February, this is when we start to feel those first signs of life again, those first little kind of snowdrops and things begin to push through the earth. We begin to feel all the energy stirring beneath the earth, preparing to come awake again. This is when we want to start to do the same. Now, the first quarter moon in Aquarius brings us that sense of liberation, freedom, and it really is going to ask you to begin to say no to anything that's not in alignment with your path and anything that isn't true to you. So again, we might get tested around the weekend in things that are going to pull you off that future goal and vision you've set yourself, that might pull you out of that inner confidence you've started to drop into. And this is our chance now to really begin to say no to those things that just aren't serving us, that aren't working for us, that aren't aligned with our truth, that aren't helping us to get to where we want to go. And this might be your own behaviors. This might be that little voice that tells you to sit on the sofa and watch Netflix instead of doing something, or the little voice that sabotages you when you're going to move out into doing something, or you're going to make the phone call or send the CV or whatever it might be. We're really going to be able to see a lot of that stuff, a lot of that shadow, especially being in Scorpio season. We're going to be able to see those shadows more clearly and have the opportunity now to turn and face them and begin to be aware of them, so that we can go inwards and start to work with them and create deep roots in what it is that we want to grow more of. So if, for example, you have a lot of lack of self-confidence, the roots you want to grow will be roots of self-belief, roots of confidence. And so this is helping us to see over the coming months, as we begin to get quiet and draw inwards, this time of year is all about that deep inner work. It's about not so much doing the things on the outside, but doing the things on the inside that are going to help the things on the outside to grow again when it's time, including us. And so I want you this week to take that permission slip to do a lot more rest, ease, quiet time, feeling in, going in, getting to know yourself, be with yourself, honor yourself, say no to things that aren't going to serve you, and already begin to develop those deep roots in you, in what you want, in who you are, in what you're worthy of, and what you are and aren't going to say no to that's going to serve you in getting to where you want to go. So I really hope that helps, my loves. I thought this was going to be a short report this week, but again, we're nearly at time. But I hope that's helped you really begin to see how this week and gathering this quiet time is actually going to be what helps us to build those really deep foundations and lay those deep roots, so that what we want can start to arrive for us next year. So take charge of your life and your future. Look ahead to where you want to be by kind of February and then June of next year, and begin to really do the inner work that's necessary so that you can be there when the time arrives. I'm sending you, as always, so much love. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for being here, and I'll be back really soon.